Welcome to the second episode of the Attic Podcast. I'm your host AJ, and today we've got a special guest. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. We've got H0 here today.
H0
Don't forget, this is the dream duo. This is Torres, Gerard, this is Suarez, Sturridge.
Yeah,
We go the whole way, man. We keep going.
Yeah, we ain't talking about them guys. You know what the team is around here. So just a bit of insight. A big shout out to Shads and Mabs last week for the podcast. I had a good time talking about the fear of starting something new. And you know what? Today's topic, I've thought about this quite a bit, yeah? So it's just about the effects of social media, whether positive, negative. We've had this conversation before, haven't we? As in,
Yeah. Just a general discussion, right?
It is a general discussion. And do you not think, like, every time I speak to anybody, you as well, the implication is always negative. Like, I always feel like shit. Oh, I spend too much time on social media. Yeah. So where do you think that kind of stems from? Like,
I think it's just the way, I would say it's the world evolving. I remember in 2007 when I first started my social media trend.
What did you get on?
So I got onto Facebook.
Yeah, all right. I thought you could say MySpace for a second.
Nah, forget that, man. Nah, rest in peace, Facebook. I don't even use that anymore. But
I've seen it's good for tracking birthdays, though. I'll tell you that. That's probably the best.
No, that is the only thing I get notifications for. I don't use Facebook, but birthday shout-outs, it's coming from straight from you. But I've seen it was good at the start. You're connecting new people, whether it's from here, somewhere else that you met them from. So I think that's a good thing. Yeah. But obviously, slowly over time, I can see the negative effects, and it's just causing everyone.
You know what? Yeah, I think more recently is where I started to switch my mindset from negative to positive. Like, I still know so many negative points. Like, I think it's best to kind of start on like where we think there are negative points. Like for me, for example, my biggest, this is such a shit trait to have. Like, obviously, you need to work on it, and is to just scroll through Instagram or scroll through Reels. That kind of made me feel like, oh, I'm wasting my time, Do you do the same or like? Yeah.
So I think that's one of the biggest things. I think there's so many negatives to social media anyway. I think you're getting the idea of anxiety, depression, everything's coming up because you're getting that fear. You're fearing of missing out, right?
That's a good
recently
point.
We went to the weekend concert, and how many stories we basically saw people at the weekend. Literally, I felt like I could have been at the concert by watching people's stories, and obviously people are going to be depressed that they didn't go to the concert because so many people were there.
So do you think people have kind of, okay, so obviously we went to see the weekend, and a lot of people are recording the event. I mean, don't get me wrong, we did the same, right? I was judging everyone, and I checked my camera roll the next day. I got like 20 videos of the same thing on a different song. Do you think the people that are recording it, once they post it on their socials, they might look at that like that's positive, like their point of view? Do you get me? I'm out here living my best life. Like, do you not
that's what the only thing I feel people are just using it as a way just to think, you know what, I was here, I can show off, etc., etc. And I know that's one thing, but I feel Instagram was basically made for memories. Because obviously now you see with phone storage and etc., you can put on Instagram, you can delete your photos.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Photos, videos, you can just post it on Instagram, and then you can just delete it off your camera roll, because obviously you can save space, etc. But I feel now it's come to a point where it's causing so much negativity, man, and it's not good at the moment. Society is going backwards.
That's a good point. And look, we all got Instas, right? And one thing that we've always noticed is you said it right there, for memories. So they're always going to be positive memories. Yeah. I'd assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Make sure you comment on your views as well. What I was going to say is, people could look at that and feel like you are living your best life 24/7. So when people feel sad or not themselves through the day, just feel like, oh, actually, when we shouldn't be allowed to feel sad. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think it's just portraying yourself in a certain way. Like, I feel like even celebrities, you see them on socials, you think living their best life. But I'm sure they're living a nice life, but there always are negative sort of things you've got to deal with.
Listen, social media is a place where you want to show people what you think that your life's about, right?
Yeah, 100%. That's literally what it is, it's your personal brand, it's your persona. Yeah.
Behind the camera, it's a different story compared to on the camera.
Do you think, like, I would never see anyone in my whole life post, you know what, you might see like me personally that I know, not like the wider community, that'll post like a negative post about themselves, like, feeling like shit today, or do you know what I mean?
I feel it's coming up more. I feel it's on. I'd say more on Twitter than anything.
I see. I don't believe.
On Twitter. So I feel like Twitter's more your voice is counted, right? I feel a lot more people are open to it. However, at the same time, the negative implications of this, there are a lot of Twitter users who are fake, essentially. They've got no profile picture, nothing.
Well, like burner accounts.
Burner accounts, essentially. And you're always basically hating on someone, right?
That's toxic.
And that's going to cause issues. And obviously that's going to cause your depression, anxiety. People are not going to post, and this is obviously going to cause everything else.
Do you think that's common? As in people...
This is why the whole Twitter space
it's the same on Insta too, I guess. Yeah,
it's toxic,
imagine doing that.
Toxic. Though. I don't like it. That's why with Twitter, for me, it's just personally newsfeed.
Yeah.
My news comes from there. My sports. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's not the healthiest thing, but I'm not going out there hating on people. So I can't.
That's mad. Like people making burner accounts. It's a different mindset to have. Like, do you think it all stems back from insecurities? And what people sort of judge on the burner accounts are who they are. Like they're not accepting that this is fucked up, man. Like I shouldn't be like this.
I think it definitely comes from that. Obviously, it's just more, but I feel people. They set themselves. They're like, I just want to hate on this person. They've already got that mindset.
Mad, though.
They've got that mindset.
How can you do that?
They've got that mindset where they just want to go out and hate. Obviously, it might be a personal thing where something's not great in their life, so they take it on someone else.
No chest, man. No chest.
But yeah, it's cowardly behaviour.
Yeah.
Need to speak on it more.
You know what? There's a few negative points, and I'm sure there's a lot of positives that can counteract that. For example, I was thinking about this earlier in terms of reach. Yeah? Back in the day, your reach as a child, when we were children, our reach is our community. It's just our people around us.
Word of mouth and such. Right?
Whereas now, with the power of social media, you can reach millions of people. Like deep that. Hopefully, we get a few viewers besides myself singing out burner accounts. But like,
it's a game changer, right?
What's
obviously
that?
The reach.
Yeah,
it's
trust
a game
me,
changer.
man.
Obviously, with businesses and marketing wise, massive. Like obviously, you can target different sections of the
100%,
world.
man.
You can't just target a certain section. You can go global.
But even like take business aside, just generally for yourself.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do you not think
but that's the platform for everyone, then, right?
Exactly.
You make a name for yourself,
and that's the thing. Like you have the right to express yourself to a point. Obviously, like, don't want to be cancelled or not. But that side of things is amazing. Like there's so much that you could be make. Like even another positive is look, you see people like KSI, for example.
Yeah.
Like Jake Paul. Like these boys started off doing something. Just like,
you just got a camera and you're just recording yourself.
You did that. And
now you see where they are now.
Yeah.
I think the world's full of different possibilities, man.
It's crazy.
And it all starts with just a camera.
It's crazy, man. Like I don't know if I'm digressing off this as well, but even like social media influencers or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
I think the stigma from like we work corporate jobs, right?
Yeah.
The stigma that I've seen myself just from the people that I chat to and how things run is these lot are joke, man. Like, but at the same time, they're earning more P's than you can imagine. Yeah. So is that the mindset of you're not open to grow, or do you just think like you're stuck in a certain tradition where you have to make a living working a 9 to 5? Or
that's probably going more of your point last week's episode where you're the fear of growing.
Yeah,
fear, right? Because I feel a lot of people would love to do something like that, but it's that initial start.
100%.
It's that fear of being like, I don't know if people like it, etc. And you're probably more fearful of the hate right online more than anything.
Yeah.
And if you don't have enough passion or oomph to do it, then you won't see the rewards, do you?
No, that's a great point. And that fear of judgment from if you haven't watched the first episode, make sure you go back. We've got some special guests. But yeah, I think the point is that fear kind of can just change your mindset about certain things as well. Like you see people back to social media actually. Another positive in that sense is you see who you follow. For example, back in the day, I used to follow so many people. Like a lot of people probably don't even know, to be honest. And I see their life, I see them living. I know so much about them. Should I be consuming that content? Like, I went through a cleanse where I only follow things that are more relevant to me or things that I want to see. So, do you think like you can get muddled up in the world by just having so much content coming in your head? Like, you get confused, and the creativity, I don't know how this would actually run with different people, but for me, I know sometimes being bored is actually good because it kind of allows you to free think, you know, but I think social media has taken that away.
No, I do, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's no such thing as boredom. You got a minute, just check on social media. Do you know what I mean?
But I feel like every 5 or 6 years, there's always something new that's come around. And everyone else is judging themselves on that way.
So what do you mean? Like,
so say like previously, your like gaming was massive on YouTube, etc. Then it went to vlogging, etc. And now it's it's come back to game shows on YouTube. I feel like even YouTube's taken over TV now.
100%.
It's different, man. It's a different world we're living in.
It's crazy.
And people are thinking in different ways as well. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I think it's pros and cons.
I think change is always good, though. You can make any situation positive, just have a different spin on it. But yeah, I think that was a kind of important sort of area to touch upon. Me personally, I'm starting to cut down on my screen time here. Yeah. I've got my phone up there just to see the timer. But have a look at your phone for a second, yeah? Check how much time you spend on like social media.
Funny thing is about that, I've restricted my access to
See, Chad was saying this the other day. I need to get on this. What's that about?
Because you don't realise how much time you're on your phone. And it gets to a point when people start saying to you, listen, you're always on your phone, you know. And you know when that hits?
I say that to you sometimes.
Yeah, that's how you know when it hits you. And it's like, yeah. If people start to notice this about you, you need to cut this out, man, because it's not even healthy. And you're losing out on real life.
So how long have you been doing that for? As in this restriction, yeah.
A few months now.
No way.
You just take in more of real life rather than what you want to see.
That's a, you know what? I've started to deep that as well, man.
Because even now, like,
that's a very good
because obviously I'm going on more walks, etc.
Yeah.
Sometimes before you're just scrolling on Insta, you're going on that for about 1/2 an hour or something. That time I could have been getting my steps in, right? It's different, man. It's you need to have a healthy mind, healthy body, right?
Like a task that takes 1/2 an hour would be long, but you scroll through social media, just like that, few hours will pass.
At work and everything
yeah, man. Like, at the same time, I don't think it all has to be negative in the sense. It's what you consume, what you're inspired to do, what you're motivated to do. If you see people succeeding on that same line of topic, is let's just say if you don't really know many people, like you're growing up, you don't really get along, you're more of an introvert, where are you supposed to seek inspiration and motivation from?
But that's I guess who you're following, right? Because if you're following people that are going to inspire you, then your mentality is instantly going to shift that way.
100%.
If you're following people that are toxic, then obviously you'll become toxic. It's basically how you choose your friends, right? How you choose your friends. If you're chilling with people who are doing not the great things, then you're going to turn out like that. If you hang with people that are ambitious and able to help you grow in life, then that's exactly the same as social media, man.
Like just touching on the topic we discussed in the last episode, which is the fear starter new. We had a discussion about growing up. We didn't really have many role models to kind of move forward and be like them. But what actually started to happen is you start to consume content like online. That's what I started to do. Like it doesn't have to be about anything specific. Like you know me, I love my boxing, man. I've been watching Mayweather since day and stuff like that. You see his confidence, his swagger. Like you pick up certain attributes from people, and you're like, this actually rubbed onto me subconsciously just because you consume it a lot. I think there's a positive there too, man. But do you think like right now we're getting into a space where, I mean, this is all contradicting because we're doing the same thing, right? As in, we're producing content for people to see. But do you think it's going to start getting a bit worse now?
I don't know. Maybe it could get worse. We're not too sure, but I just think it depends on how the world perceives it. Obviously, technology is evolving so much. Everything's moving onto social media as it is anyway. And I don't think it's technically a bad thing because, say, like YouTube, you can learn so much on YouTube. Obviously, like we have, like you said, like having no role models growing up, etc. Where are you learning these skills then from? Obviously, boxing and everything. People are doing this online.
100%.
So obviously, there's a platform there for people to help, etc. Other people out. So it's just how you go about using your social media.
No, but also it'd be nice if you can comment below just to kind of share some experiences. Like I said, we're not experts at this. We're just trying to create a community where people can kind of speak on how they feel. So it's all good. We're learning about these things as well, and maybe we could touch on it in another episode or whatnot. But is there any sort of other points that you're kind of thinking? Because the stigma is obviously negative initially, but what else do you think? Like,
it's got its pros to it as well. There's more, I would say. Obviously now, I feel now it's getting more negative. Obviously with the whole Twitter situation, the outrage on that just shows how big Twitter is, etc.
It's crazy, yeah.
The whole Elon Musk situation. That's funny, and how Mark Zuckerberg has used it. Instagram as literally like a Twitter.
It's called Threads, isn't it?
Threads, yeah.
Have you got one?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I've tried it out. It's actually nice in some ways because you're actually looking at people's tweets who you're actually following. Whereas Twitter right now, it's more about for you who you're.
So what's this whole sort of thing about people switching from Twitter to Threads? Because I know Elon Musk took over Twitter, and I think there's a lot that changed there.
Essentially, what's happened is Elon Musk has tried to restrict the amount of people who can view tweets a day. If you're not verified, you can watch. I think you view like 600 tweets maybe. But then if you pay to be verified, you can look up to like 6,000.
He's a smart man. He's doing it. Yeah, it must be getting a lot of money out of that as well for the people that do subscribe. Is it like a monthly subscription or?
I think it'll be
that's
more
crazy.
Monthly or annually.
Yeah,
I haven't looked into the details of it properly, but as soon as I saw that, I was just like.
But deep it. Imagine that phase where all that change happened. How that probably made people feel about. Like they're probably panicking. Like
that's what I'm saying. This is the outrage on Twitter shows how big that platform is. Because you've seen, I think. That Threads was the highest, the quickest.
100 million in like 5 days or something.
Not in 5 days, like 24
That's
hours.
Crazy.
It was so quick, the changeover to that. But like I said, it is actually nice because you're not getting automatic adverts. You're not getting no adverts.
As you can probably tell, look, I used to have Twitter back in the day, but I started to notice like, I don't need to hear about this. I don't need to hear about this, so I'm just sticking on Insta right now. But yeah, so it's good to kind of understand that how things are sort of changing there, you know?
It's just, because like now that you're literally, you got no ads and you're literally watching only the tweets that are coming out. It's just bots and everything.
So how is it like I know a lot of platforms are starting to restrict certain content as in like hate. Or who's there to regulate that? Because it's hard though, because look, social media is a global platform, right? I know in the States there's Freedom of Speech Act. But who's regulating these platforms to say, this is right or this is wrong? I know there's certain black and whites where you can't kind of cross. It's quite understand because it's so easy to get cancelled, especially online. Like people can switch your perception just like that.
That reason there is why I'd say you see a lot more faceless people. They've got no profile pictures. It will just be of a celebrity they like, etc. They haven't got nothing to do with them. But they will tweet probably what they feel more than anything, whether that's positive or negative. More the fact that it's negative. Because if you're tweeting something negative, you're gonna get a lot of hate so quick online.
And this is another point, and this is where I feel like I get that, but what if you're just someone curious looking to understand certain topics? Like, do you not feel like social media will kind of discourage people from speaking their mind in terms of, look, I don't know about these type of people. You may use a certain word that will offend someone, but you don't know. Do you think like people are all putting a persona and all positive? It's perfect to be positive. This is what we want, right?
I think it's more, obviously you'll get onto them for the hate comment or whatever comment it is, regardless, but I think the most important thing is to educate that person. I think if you don't educate that person, they're going to continue. Because if you realise, we're actually in a generation where all this is getting relatively new, everything's coming out.
What do you mean? As
like racism, etc. I feel like it's coming a lot more to the forefront. Hopefully it's regressing a lot. But obviously, like, you still see it's still out there. A lot of people still use it. It's just about educating the people on it. It's all you can say. There's so much hate about it, but as long as you educate them on why it's actually bad, then it's just going to continue.
A lot of people got egos. They probably won't want to know. That's the thing, right? And like, I find it crazy how people flip. Like, I'll take it all the way back. Yeah, as you could probably tell, I'm an Arsenal fan. Back to Bukayo Saka, you know, the star boy, the one and only, best number 7 in the Premier League.
You chat too much. Well, when we do football,
we have a separate section.
Different.
He's almost quadruple champs at Liverpool.
What did you win last year?
Sticky.
We're going off topic though. Let's go.
But for a football game, the comments that came after on all social platforms, like, you can see how it's affecting him as a person. It's that people can switch on you on social media, because I feel like you see people in person, they will never say nothing to you.
Different, man. They've got no chest in person.
No chest, man.
Online is different. That's what I'm saying. Even with the whole Mason Mount with Man United, he was off social media for ages. He only came back when he said, guys, that apology video to Chelsea.
That was jokes.
He's only come back for that. And he's got so much hate from that. I wouldn't be surprised if he removes it again.
But
I think for a celebrity it's hard though.
Yeah, you have to maintain a certain image, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Do you think, obviously, like, we do hope that a lot of these people are genuine in what they say and what they believe in, and not just being restricted to being told what they say. And I feel like this sort of platforms here, because we're curious ourselves, we want to kind of understand what you guys think of this too, because speaking your mind is a powerful thing.
Yeah, to a point.
You know, you just need to kind of be aware of how you do things, but at the same time, people will probably not touch on certain topics because they feel like, 1, people will judge them. 2, if you're working for a company or whatnot, maybe you can't be your true self.
That's another negative, actually, to another point. Obviously, if you're saying bad things on social media, etc., you're going to get a background check if you go for a new job, etc. This is going to get pointed out. So just be careful what you say online, man. That's the one thing I'd say.
But yeah, that's what I was kind of touching on. Like, it's all different areas, like your personal life, like sports, fitness, all different areas. Shore Fitness, that's his plug. But like, we should kind of wrap things up around there. I know we can touch on it another time, but I just want to kind of get something in about this because, like I said, I'm always weighing up, and I'm sure you are, the negatives and positives. And I feel like if you just switch that mindset of like, I don't even know about half of this hate thing people making burner accounts, like that's crazy.
Yes, but that's one of the reasons why people they should be restricting themselves off Twitter. It's just toxic environment, man. You mentally, you're gonna get screwed, man. You can't. Just get off it, man. Enjoy life.
Nah, but yeah, on that note, I think, please, it would be good to put some comments in it. Hopefully we don't have to make burner accounts and make fake comments. Might have to at this rate.
Come on.
It would be nice to kind of go over what we discussed, and if you have any comments, anything you want to discuss, give us a shout. We'll make a separate video to go over your questions if there are any. But say for being on today's thing, keep in touch, and we'll be back next week with another episode.